As with any model or framework, there are a number of limitations or weaknesses of instructional system design. The first weakness has to do with the practical value of the model. In the real world, training design rarely follows a neat, orderly, systematic fashion. In the real world, we have to design training programs within the limitations of the organization. There are forces inside the organization and outside the organization that can influence learning. We will learn more about some of those forces in the next lecture. For now, just remember that training does not happen in a vacuum, and in the real world, there are all kinds of considerations that have to be made. The ISD approach does not necessarily reflect that reality. It is a linear, step by step, stage by stage approach. Think of the ISD model as an idealistic model. Think of it as best practice. But also know that sometimes we don't follow the stages exactly as they are presented in the model for all kinds of different reasons. Another problem with this model is that it assumes training evaluation is the end of the training design process. I mentioned earlier that this is just not the case. Once you have evaluated a training program, made improvements to it, it's time to go back to that first step, conduct another needs assessment, and make sure that that training is still needed. Imagine, for example, that you create a training program in 2022, and by 2025, that training need no longer exists in the organization. The needs assessment is going to alert you to this. Then what you can do is pull that particular training program from the curriculum, shelve it, and maybe someday the need will arise again. You will already have something to work with. Because we don't yet have industry specific and situation specific models, the current frameworks are often applied incorrectly. The principles of instructional system design are not always used the way that they were intended, which can be a problem both for the originators of the theory, but also for the individuals who are incorrectly using the model. Sometimes entire steps are skipped. The needs assessment, training evaluation, those two steps, unfortunately, are often skipped, despite the fact that they are extremely important to the effectiveness of the training and the strategic value of the training.